Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you could tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about Witchcrafters. And, more specifically, that grass looks greener. This card should be banned. It's banned in the TCG. It's banned in Duel Links. It's limited, semi-limited, in the OCG. This card's insane. Why is it not banned? Well, I don't know. I really don't. If you don't know what this card does, it sends the top 20 cards of your deck to the grave. That's basically it. It's insane. However, let's quickly do the card by card. So, Witchcrafters. Why are we playing Witchcrafters with grass? Well, all of their cards have a graveyard effect. Except for these three. These three don't. But all of the other ones have a graveyard effect, where all of the monsters have unique ones, but all of the spells and traps basically just recur themselves. They add themselves back to the hand or back to the field. So, what is Genni's unique graveyard effect? You can banish a spell, a Witchcrafter spell, and then copy its effect by banishing this card as well. So you banish this card, and you banish a spell, and you get that spell's effect. More specifically a Witchcrafter spell, but still. Now with that, all Witchcrafter level 4 or lower monsters have the same effect, where during the main phase, you contribute this card and discard a spell in order to special summon a Witchcrafter from the deck. Very nice. Potterie allows you to, if you have no cards in hand, target a Witchcrafter monster or Witchcrafter card and add it to your hand. We have Pittore, which draws a card and then discards a Witchcrafter or banishes your entire hand if you don't have a Witchcrafter. We have Schmieta, which sends a Witchcrafter card to the graveyard. We have Haine, which when it's on the field can quick effect pop as well as protect your spellcaster type monsters from targeting. And yeah, all of these effects basically require you to send a spell from the hand to the grave. Verre, however, has a damage calculation effect where if a spellcaster type monster battles, you can reveal any number of spells with different names in your hand, and if you do, the battling monster gains 1,000 attack for each card revealed. So you don't actually send anything with that effect. However, it has a second effect where you can discard a spell to negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. However, all of these effects are hard once per turn. Then we have Golem, which when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a spellcaster monster, or it is targeted for an attack, you can target a card your opponent controls or a Witchcrafter spell in your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, return that targeted card to the hand. So it allows you to out boss monsters, if something ends up targeting. It's very nice. We have the one Nibiru, the triple Maxx, and the triple Ash Blossom for our hand traps. We also have one Lightning Storm. Again, it's a spell. It's a spell with a different name as well, so it can be very nice, especially going second. And then the one Metalfoes Fusion, which is good for when you mill cards, draws you a card. So, and then the triple Pot of Prosperity as well. All of those are the tech cards. Moving on, we have Reasoning. Reasoning, if you don't know what Reasoning does, Reasoning. Left arm offering searches the spell. Foolish Burial sends a spell or trap to the graveyard. That grass looks greener, obviously. Witchcrafter Creation, Holiday, and Bystreet, Scroll, Draping, and Collaboration all have the effect where they add themselves back to the hand or to the field during the end phase if you control a Witchcrafter. So, as I said, floating effect. Creation searches a Witchcrafter. Holiday special summons a Witchcrafter. Collaboration gives it a second attack and a Ancient Gear effect. Bystreet protects from destruction once per turn, for once for each Witchcrafter, and then Scroll allows you to draw a card when a spellcaster monster destroys a monster by battle, and then Draping allows you to target spells or traps your opponent controls up to the number of Witchcrafter monsters you control and return those targets to the hand. So you can play more of this if you're scared of like Eldritch. Then we have this really weird engine with Magician's Right, Left Hand, and Magician's Restage. So Restage, when it is sent to the graveyard, it allows you to add either of these to your hand, which is really nice. Also, it special summons a level 3 or lower spellcaster type monster, which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Very nice. But what do these do? Magician's Right Hand negates the first spell effect if you control a spellcaster, and Magician's Left Hand is the first trap card. So it just negates and destroys. Pretty simple. Then we have Lost Wind. This card sets itself when your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, as well as it allows you to target a face-up special summon monster on the field and negate its effect, and its original attack is halved. So very, very solid. We have Masterpiece as well. This card is insanely good. You banish the number of spells, or sorry, you banish this card and any number of spells from your graveyard, special summon a Witchcrafter monster from your deck whose level equals the number of spells banished to activate this effect. Pretty solid. It's just basically a trap card special summon from the grave. Very, very nice. Then we have Patronus. This card allows you to gain advantage by recycling your monsters to gain spells. So you recycle them from the grave or the banish pile in order to add a spell to your hand, and you can banish it in order to add back any of your banished Witchcrafter spells. Very, very solid. As for the extra deck, we basically never use it, so there's no real point in going into that. However, if you want a more in-depth explanation of how the combos work or anything like that, or more of how the cards work, then leave a comment down below and let me know if you would be interested in that. If not, then I won't worry about it. But if you do want to see it, if you do want to understand how I'm actually doing a lot of these plays, then just tell me down below. Anyway, yeah, let's hop into the duels. Alright guys, so here we are in the first duel, and this duel is to show you the many ways that we can get to grass that grass looks greener, but also how incredibly powerful it is when it resolves. So we're going to first activate Pot of Prosperity, and hey, look at that, we got that grass that looks greener. So we're going to obviously add that to our hand and then immediately slam it down. However, they have Ash Blossom, which does stop that grass looks greener. However, grass looks greener does not have a notable once per turn on it. There is no hard once per turn. So here we are going to activate the Magician Restage and then go for the Left Arm Offering. The reason I do this is because Left Arm Offering banishes your entire hand in order to add that grass looks greener, and so I wanted the Restage because it's wildly important here. So Restage is sent from to the grave, so we're going to add the right hand. Then Schmieta's effect is going to activate, and we are going to send our Masterpiece, which we never did, off of the grass. So there you go. We have the Banish Schmieta. At this point, we are going to activate Restage in order to bring back this Pittore, and then we're just going to proceed to the end phase in order to recur a lot of the Witchcrafter spells and traps, or more specifically spells, back to our hand. So we're going to add 3 different names. We're going to add Creation, Collaboration, and Draping, and then we are going to activate, or put it face up on the field, the Bystreet. As you can see, they are playing the Kaijus. So they're just going to Kaiju over our Pittore, which does suck, but there's not really anything that we can do about that. And honestly, it kind of doesn't matter all that much. But, you know, they're going to go for Thunderbird here. We still have our Masterpiece effects activation in order to go for another monster. And we have so many spells in grave that, in fact, we are just going to banish a whole bunch in order to go for the Golem Aruru. At this point, we've ended the battle phase, which means that we get to save all of our health. They're going to Kaiju us again, which is, I mean, whatever. But during the end phase, we are going to activate our Pittore in order to grab, or sorry, not Pittore, Patronus, in order to grab back 2 more Witchcrafter spells. So now we have 5 spells in hand, which is really nice. We end up drawing Schmieta here, but which doesn't really matter since we do have Pittore to draw another card. However, the Schmieta does go to the grave, and then we're going to send another Witchcrafter spell, which Holiday we don't have in rotation, so we're going to send that. I'm then going to activate Scroll, which is just another spell basically, and then we're going to search out our Potterie. I don't know why I did this. I realistically didn't need to, but I did it anyway. And then we're going to normal summon the Pittore and then use its effect in order to go into Haine, and then use Haine's effect, or Haine's effect, I don't know, Haine's effect in order to pop the Thunderbird. They're going to effect Veiler that, which does suck, but there's not a whole lot that I can do about that. I'm just going to go to the end phase and recur all of that advantage again. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory end phase. And then here, I actually do make a slight mistake and set the Bystreet again, but it doesn't end up mattering all that much, so I'm just, during the standby phase, I'm going to pop the Thunderbird so that they can't just Kaiju me again, because I know that they're playing a bunch of Kaijus. So they're going for the Luna, add another Luna, go for the Kaiju, return the Kaiju, Kaiju me, and then just end the turn. I don't know why they don't have anything else, but they don't, so it's fine. We're going to Pittore again, and we end up drawing Genni, which is really good, so we're going to send that to the grave, and then we are going to activate Holiday to bring back Haine. We are then going to activate Genni's effect in order to banish the Holiday to special summon out Verre. At this point, I basically have lethal because I can summon the Potterie in order to go for Schmieta. I have the collaboration in hand, so I target the Haine, and then at this point, I can attack twice with Haine. They can't activate spells and traps, which doesn't really matter. I attack with the Kaiju, and then I attack with Schmieta, and that is lethal. So, as you can see, grass looks greener. Really does look green. Alright, I believe with this one, I end up going first again, but I don't end up having that grass looks greener. However, we do have reasoning. Oh, just kidding, I'm going second. Okay, so this one is actually very interesting, because I do end up going second. I'm not able to actually interrupt them all that much, but you will see that this Magician's Left Hand comes in clutch. So we are going to just let them do their whole thing. They're going to go for Bear Brum here, then Bear Brum effect to discard a 2 in order to special summon the Nerval. I don't know why they do this. I genuinely don't. They've already gotten the Nerval search, but I mean, they go for Rugal here, and then they are going to put a card back. They're going to tribute for... Okay, this is literally... I need you to know this. This guy was terrible. He was absolutely terrible, but this game was close. This game should not have been close given the way that they played, but this game was close. So... notably, they have a Revolt set. So, I immediately activate Magician's Left Hand, which negates the first opponent, or the effect of your opponent's first trap card, as long as you control a spellcaster type monster. So, I'm going to activate this to basically force them to have or activate the Revolt. However, notably, they don't go for Shureg here. I don't know why. They go for 2. So, they go for their Verre, which is really weird, but I mean, sure. So they go for Verre here. This still activates. They're going to go for Kit, and then they're going to go for Rugal. And they're going to Rugal back their Nerval. And then Kit is going to send Nerval. Or, sorry, no, it sent Fractal for some reason. I don't know what this guy was doing. But anyway, I go for Reasoning. Get an Ash Blossom. I'm going to normal summon this Schmieta, and then I'm going to attack over the Verre because they don't have any cards in hand. Activating Verre doesn't do anything, which is why I wanted to do that. Then I am going to go for the Madame Verre, and then I'm going to banish this Schmieta in order to send Holiday. I don't really have that many cards in rotation. I just have these two, the Creation and the Holiday, which is why I sent a spell off of Schmieta. I also have Patronus, which does give me more spells. If I'm able to get it to resolve. So at this point, it's basically just Madame Verre, and that's it. During the draw phase, I'm going to activate the Patronus in order to shuffle back and add Bystreet here. Bystreet just gives me a little bit more protection if I'm able to actually, you know, set it before I get destroyed. So they go for Karos here, and I actually negate this. I think this was a bit of a misplay. What I should have done is I should have waited for them to actually summon the Shureg and then negated the Shureg. But the reason I decided to go for this was because at least they'd have all of their stuff banished. So if they did end up normal summoning their Nerval, which we know is in hand, they wouldn't have more materials to go for another Shureg. But ultimately, I think that was a mistake because they could have just linked off into a Shureg and then still got the effect of activation. Here they actually go for Accesscode, and this is why I think this player is absolutely terrible. So Accesscode, notably, let's read this together. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's effect activation. If this card is link summoned, you can target a link monster that was used as material for its link summon. This card gains attack equal to the link rating times 1,000. You can banish a link monster from your field or graveyard. Destroy a card your opponent controls. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot banish monsters with the same attribute to activate this effect. So, notably, how many attributes are in the grave? 1, 2. However, you can banish your own access code, because it's a dark, in order to activate this effect. I have a feeling you know where I'm going with this. So, they're going to activate access code. They're going to pop the Verre. I can't respond. That's fine. They're going to pop the Magician's Hand. I don't know why the frick they popped the Magician's Hand there. I genuinely don't. It's not doing anything. It's not like this is a spellcaster, but I don't think they read that card entirely, but it's fine. They're going to pop all of our back row. Then they are going to go for Nerval. Here, they go for Ancient Warrior's Oath. They're going to then send back the Ash Blossom, which then negates their Nerval. Again, this guy was really, really bad, but it was still close, which is so sad. And it shows you the power of these tier 1 decks. However, it also shows you the power of Witchcrafters. You can still beat your opponent oftentimes, even if they didn't misplay. Even if they were able to actually keep their access code, I'm not dead here. So, notably, I'm still alive. I'm still able to fight. However, I drew Haine for turn, which really, really sucks. So here we're going to go for creation. They're going to max C. Okay. I mean, that's annoying, but I can play around it. Creation, grab the Schmieta here. Schmieta, I'm going to normal summon. I think about this for a long time, and then I decide to go into the Golem. The reason I go for Golem here is because it will actually just return to the hand. So if he ends up targeting one of my cards, I can actually just put that guy back into the deck. So very, very nice. Back into the deck. Which is exactly what he does. And, you know, hey, now I have a Golem in hand. That's pretty sick. I'm going to Schmieta to get the Witchcrafter Masterpiece. And then I'm going to banish 3 cards, and then I'm going to also activate the effect of... However, this is in draw phase. Okay. I make another really big misplay here. I needed to activate all of this during the main phase. If I activated all of this during the main phase, I would have gotten a Schmieta onto the field, which then I could immediately have tributed off in order to go for something like a Verre. However, which, you know, would have baited them to actually use this on the Schmieta, and it would have been great. But instead, I'm dumb and decide to actually use this during the draw phase, which means I can't actually activate the effect of Schmieta. And I don't have enough spells in grave to go for the Verre proper. So, anyway, I activate Masterpiece, and then I chain to Masterpiece the Patronus in order to add back all of the Witchcrafter spells that I banished. So I'm going to add back 3 different Witchcrafter spells. So now I have a whole bunch of cards in hand. Half of them are bricks that don't do anything. But Masterpiece is going to activate in order to go for Schmieta. They immediately send the kit there in order to send or return the Schmieta. And then I am going to activate the Golem here in order to return their Ancient Warrior's Oath. At this point, they can go for Kit here to grab Nerval, and then Nerval effect to grab another card. However, they haven't, or they've already used their normal summon, so at this point, it's just fine. Oh, sorry, just kidding. They hadn't, because I'm bad. So they're going to go back into the Ancient Warrior's Oath, and yeah. Whoops. Anyway, I am going to go for Holiday, bring back the Verre. They are immediately going to activate this effect, which I will just chain the Golem to, and then chain Madame... Oh, sorry. No, I don't actually chain Madame Verre, because I don't care. I'm just going to return their card and be done. Because if I negate it, like, it doesn't do anything. So I'm going to go for Pittore and then go for the Verre once again. Pittore is going to draw us a card and then send Haine, which gets it into the grave, which means that it could possibly come up. I'm then going to send the Genni here. We are going to special summon the Haine because we sent the Genni and then we copied the Holidays effect in order to special summon it. Then we are going to attack for quite a bit of damage, but not quite lethal. At this point, though, I'm not really too worried. It doesn't really matter what they end up summoning because I can literally just immediately pop it and then they don't have anything. Golem does go back to the hand, but again, not that big of a deal. They're going to go for Kit. I'm just going to immediately pop it, not allow them to activate its effect. Kit's effect is going to activate. They're going to send Nerval. Nerval effect is going to activate. It doesn't really matter at this point. I have lethal. So, yeah, they realize that, and I just win. Alright, and here we are in our last game. I believe we go first on this one? Yeah, okay. So, we have Pot of Prosperity and Left Arm Offering. So, this one's pretty good. We're gonna immediately activate Pot of Prosperity, and hey, look at that. It is a grass. So, we're going to grab up that grass and activate it. And we don't get Ash Blossoms this time, which is really nice. And we're going to grab both of the Magician's Restage. So grab them both. Grab the right hand, grab the left hand, which means a spell and a trap negation. Schmieta to send the Witchcrafter Masterpiece. Genni in order to bring back the Verre. Pretty standard stuff. Genni also in the hand. We're going to send the left arm offering in order to get Haine onto the field. And then we are going to set a card and end the turn. So we have actually 2 spells here that basically count as in the hand. So Scroll and Bystreet both basically count as in the hand for Witchcrafter specific effects. So we basically still have a pop as well as an effect negation as well as Lost Wind. Immediately I'm going to activate Patronus here in order to grab Holiday to grab another card in the hand. They also have Allure of Darkness, which doesn't matter because we are just going to negate that. However, they're then going to go for Tsuchinoko. So at this point, they're just going to draw a whole bunch of cards. I'm just going to let them pop off and do their thing because you'll see that most of it doesn't end up mattering. But I did want to show you what you can end on with Haine, Madame Verre, whole bunch of spells, whole bunch of negation with all of your spells in the grave and all of that stuff. So if you're wondering what just happened, Haine was protected by Bystreet, so it now can be destroyed by Bystreet. So Cerberus is going to activate to destroy the Haine. I'm going to negate that with Lost Wind and cut its attack in half. It's going to get negated, and then it's going to draw, or my opponent is going to Jar of Avarice, shuffling back a whole bunch of cards. Notably, they don't shuffle back Bigfoot for some reason. I don't know why, but you know, they're going to activate Jackalope. Jackalope is going to special summon Mothman. They're going to go for Nightmare Unicorn. So here I actually activate the effect of I activate Lost Wind, and then I chain Madame Verre. We're going to send the scroll to the grave in order to negate the Unicorn's effect. Again, I want Haine on the field because it's very nice. So Unicorn is now negated. They're going to Jar of Avarice once again, sending back a whole bunch of their monsters. I think they had 6 monsters at this point, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they still had Shaddoll Beast. They're then going to card destruction, and here I'm going to activate Haine because I want to get Holiday into rotation. And if it's not in the hand, if like it gets card destruction, that's actually worse for me. So I'm just going to destroy their Unicorn so that they don't have the link material, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm going to destroy that. They're going to card destruction. They're going to send 2 cards and get a whole bunch of effects. And I actually draw a creation, which is really nice, but it doesn't matter all that much. I've already used all of my effects. So at this point, it's just up to them. What are they going to do? Oh, nothing. They immediately surrender. They didn't have enough engine to keep going, and yeah, I still had a lot of advantage that I could have gone through in the graveyard. Alright, so we're back with the deck, and real quick, I do want to say that I did a whole bunch of streams against viewers on the channel where they were playing more or less meta decks. Things like Tri-Brigade and Gene Raider, which isn't necessarily meta. And then there was another deck that they played. I don't remember. But it was a bunch of meta decks or more competent decks. And yeah, I went 3-0. So the deck is actually pretty good. If you're able to consistently get that Grass Look Screener, you kind of just win the duel, just based on the advantage that you gain. I don't think there was a duel that I lost where I was able to resolve this. I don't think... Yeah, I don't think there was a duel that I actually lost where I resolved this. So that shows you the power of this individual card. However, notably, there are a few other cards that you could play as well. Super Polymerization and Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is just a good card. It prevents hand traps like Ash and stuff like that. So, you know, if they Ash Blossom you, you can negate it with Called by in order to protect your grass. So, very nice. Also, Super Polymerization gives you something to actually add into the extra deck, as well as being just a nice spell. And because you're constantly gaining advantage off of your Witchcrafter spells, you most of the time have something to discard off of, or for cost for the Super Polymerization. So, again, very nice. 2 very nice cards that you can add in. But overall, I mean, this deck is very good. I think the replays didn't really showcase that, but... yeah, on stream, it performed really, really well. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It's a fun deck. It does take a lot to learn. And if you would like me to do a combo video per se, if you want me to do a combo video, much like I did with Dark Lords, explaining this deck, then just be sure to drop a like or a comment down below to tell me about that. So that's going to be it. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.